Hi everyone, I'm Tyler Barker, Managing Director of Kohler Supply. For the last 20 years, we have been involved in the procurement industry, and I want to share some of the trends and changes that I've seen in the last 12 months and what I predict to change in the coming years that you can use to help push your business forward. So, it's no secret that China in the last 25 years has exploded ahead to become a leader in the manufacturing industry and space. But the one thing that I've started to notice recently is that more and more businesses are starting to move away from China and look for external sources for their procurement away from China. They're looking into India, they're looking into South Korea, into Brazil, Mexico, and a lot of places around Europe now that are proving to be competitive with China and offer the same level of quality of product as well. Now, with these changes that are coming, we will start to see a more diverse range of suppliers that we can visit as a company to start to procure our products for us. I think the reason for this is generally due to the fact that China has grown into such a size now where the prices that they offer of product has started to fall back more in line with the rest of the world, whereas before they had to compete so much on price where they were beating everybody else due to their cost of labour, their cost of materials, and their cost of living was so much lower than everybody else's, and this afforded them the luxury of being so much cheaper. On top of that, if you were purchasing from somewhere in Europe using the euro, the GBP, or potentially also in the USA, you were getting so much more bang for your buck due to the conversion rate of your currency that you were using when purchasing from China. Gone are the days now where the pound used to be worth $2. So anything that you would buy in China, you were almost getting double for the money that you were investing in the product you're sourcing. Now the current dollar rate is sat at about 1 to 1.3, which means that same luxury is no longer being afforded, and companies in UK as well as Europe are starting to look for suppliers further afield than China. The other issue that's happening over in China at the minute is the tensions that are rising between themselves and Taiwan. Businesses are becoming quite fearful that the relationships between the two countries could cause a big problem for international trade. So if you're buying from China and a conflict does arise between them and Taiwan, it could see a lot of businesses being forced to move their supply chain away from China. Although, due to the amount of products that is still being sourced from China, I highly doubt that something like this would happen anytime soon. But I still think it's important for customers now to start to look at diversifying your supply chains away from China. And if you have got all of your products being sourced from that country, I would seriously recommend that you spend the time now looking into Europe and looking into other areas such as South America and countries in Asia that could help source your products and begin to dual source. And if problems do arise, you know that you have another supplier on hand that can source the product for you on time and in the quality that you expect. Another big change that we've obviously seen to procurement in the last year or two has been the issue arising around Russia and Ukraine. Now, a large percentage of material comes out of Russia, and due to the embargoes that are now on Russian steel, we're seeing a lot of companies being forced to move away from Russian steel, which is increasing the cost of steel from places like China and Australia and India due to that cost rising from Russia. And that's simply a supply and demand constraint, because with the amount of limitation on Russian steel, there is a scarcity of steel in China and Australia and other exporters of steel, which is driving the prices up. I've talked about the subject of onshoring again, and a lot of companies now are batting this word onshoring around quite a lot. So just to explain what that is, if you're not sure, it's the process of bringing back all of the outsourced international products that you supply in and bringing it back into the country that your business is located in. Now, in an ideal world, this would be great to help drive local businesses forward, but I just don't see it being realistic. For us, being based in the UK, I still don't see in the UK where costs are 3 times higher compared to suppliers in Europe and Asia that we can onshore anytime soon. The only way we can get around this is through the implementation of new manufacturing practices that can help bring costs down when quoting on particular jobs. This can only be achieved by new innovations being injected into the industry, by new brilliant minds that are being brought in from the new generation. Another big trend that we're also utilising here at Kohler is streamlining the supply chain. We're seeing so many businesses nowadays and customers of ours that are asking us to take on more work from some of their other suppliers that aren't meeting their needs. This is why it's more important than ever now as a business to ensure that you are having regular conversations with your customer and asking them whether or not you are doing the job that they expect of you. We've become too complacent now as businesses to just assume that we're doing a good job, without actually speaking to our customers and ensuring that we're offering the value that we're selling to them. Customers have realised that by streamlining their supply chain, they can actually leverage their suppliers far better. Because of having a more streamlined supply chain, they'll be able to utilise their suppliers to their benefit, because they'll be able to negotiate better payment terms, better prices, better communication, better delivery and better quality by having a supplier that they are putting more business through, because they have a stronger relationship than they did before when they were only supplying one part, whereas they're now supplying 10, 20 or 100 parts into a company. They now have a stronger relationship. So ensure that your business isn't the one that's being cut out of the equation. Make sure that your business is the one they're targeting when they look to streamline their supply chain, and your business is the one they choose to take the business on. What I'm going to do is another full-length video to show you exactly the steps that you should be taking as a business to ensure that you are offering as much value to your customers as possible. And if you utilize all of those things that I share in that next video, I am 100% certain that you will be the business that they choose when they look to streamline and push through maybe 2x, 3x or even 10x the amount of business that they're currently putting through your business. But remember, it is on you to ensure that you are providing that value to your customers. Otherwise, they will go somewhere else. If you want to go and check that video out, please check the description below and there'll be a link to go and watch it there. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.